it that way. So I'm proud of Tom Brady for showing us young players how to do it.
Okay.
All right, Kevin, Josh Donaldson's day.
You know how mad you have to be to hit a home run and still be upset at the umpire? So Josh Donaldson's mad at the about this strike call. So then he hits a bomb, runs around the bases, and then while he's going across for his home plate, boom, get the dirt.
Mad.
So now look at this. The ump throws him out, and then he steps on it. This is being recorded as a home run. I don't think this is a home run. I think he actually gets thrown out before he touches home plate. This should not count. I don't know how this would be scored. A triple and getting thrown out? I've never seen it before. It's awesome, and I want to see more of it. Oddly, it's just dramatic awesomeness. I also think he was out. Like, he doesn't touch home plate. He's like, oh, I didn't touch it. He's like, well, now I'm throwing you out.
For Josh. Nick, little throwback from LeBron.
Yeah, Wilds, what's the best show on television? Just real quick, just say it. What's the best show on television? Wilds?
Oh, boy, here we go.
Okay, he won't participate. The answer is Playoff LeBron. Yeah, there you go.
Rates well.
And when does that show get really good? The tail end of the season.
just answer
Conference finals and NBA finals, LeBron. Just a reminder, the last time we saw LeBron James in a conference finals, he was down 3-2 against Boston, dropped 46 in Game 6, and then a tour de force Game 7 performance. So I'm not saying we're going to see 35, 15, and 9 tonight necessarily. But his first game back in the conference finals since he ripped the Celtics' heart out at TD Garden. They got their heart ripped out by the Heat last night down in Orlando. But just a little reminder of what we could be in store for tonight, America. A little reminder, we had a season off, a year off, and now we're back at it.
All right, piggybacking that, Nick, much like the Heat did to the Celtics, Drake also won at basketball last night.
Oh,
he couldn't make a team, so he actually made a team, and then he made a league, and then he won his league, and he celebrated like this. But here's the deal. The truth is he still has more rings than the Clippers do. But very understated with the celebration, very quiet and subtle. This is very, very on brand with Drake. Although, all kidding aside, I can't knock the guy. On Tuesday, I won my 42 and under Rummikub tournament, and I also had a glass of champagne. So I figured the key to all of this celebration stuff is moderation. Nick, that shouldn't be your takeaway from all of this.
Other people in that league demand to see the birth certificate.
All right,
she's cheating.
We're gonna move it on.
She's cheating.
Roll some other videos.
42 and
Let's
under.
just keep going. Hey, you know who else knows what good champagne tastes like? The Patriots. They faced Russ and the Seahawks Sunday night. Both teams with impressive starts in Week 1. Pats leaning on Cam's legs to get the job done over the Dolphins. It was leg day, Brandon. Will they roll with that same plan of attack on Sunday? With that, it is time for Brandon's key to the game. All right, Brandon Marshall, how do Cam and the Patriots leave Seattle with a win?
Can we get this graphic changed to me in a Jets jersey? You know, the Jets was my favorite team. But anyways, the Seattle Seahawks. All right, Cam Newton, if you guys want to beat the Seattle Seahawks team, the number one thing you have to do is rely on your defense. So what does the defense have to do? They have to keep Russell Wilson in the pocket. America, if this guy escapes the pocket, everyone should stand up, whether you're in the stands, if they're allowing fans to come, or if you're at home watching a game, stand up because something big's going to happen. Number 2, they love to throw the ball down the field. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, he may only throw for 16. He may only have 16 completions at some points throughout the season, but they're bombs, they're chunks. Stop this team from going deep. And the last thing on the offensive side for Seattle and the defense on the Patriots, what you got to do is you got to stop the run. Coach Carroll will run it on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down if you let him. So stop these guys with the front 7. And then you go to the other side of the ball. Cam Newton has to establish the passing game on early downs. In particular, 1st down. Running it 15 times this game, I don't think is the formula to success. The last thing here is protecting Cam Newton. I just said it. 15 run plays is not going to work against this defense when you have Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams lurking and running from side to side. Protect Cam Newton, and you may have a chance.
What do you think, Nick?
Well, I disagree with Brandon's last point. I think this idea
Lord, of course you do.
To protect, well, hold on. This idea that to protect Cam Newton, you need to limit his runs, that's just not what his history says. Cam Newton is the most effective running quarterback over a long period of time we've ever seen, and he has never been injured on a quarterback run. The closest thing was when he styled early getting into the end zone against Atlanta, if you remember, and he got concussed on that play, but that's because he stopped playing a yard early. The injuries he suffered, whether it was the TJ Watt hit or when he broke his foot in preseason, have come on passing plays. Like, I hear this narrative going that, Cam's not going to make it through the season if you run him at the level they ran him in week 1. I think that is how Cam gets through the season. I think that's how he's most effective. So I do agree you can pass a little more on first down, Brandon, but I don't think the Patriots need to worry about Cam's health and start limiting him. They need to worry about winning games for a team that has a very limited offense outside of Cam Newton. So that's the one point you made, Brandon, that I strongly disagree with.
Well, here's the thing. Right now, Cam Newton's on pace to being in the top 10 in rushing attempts. If you think that's the formula for success, then you're mistakenly, you're wrong. Cam Newton needs to be able to drop back and establish the passing game throughout the course of this game, throughout the course of this season. Now, I do agree with you. You're right. Cam Newton, he's most effective when he is running. But we're talking about 7 or 8 times. Lamar Jackson did it last week. He was deadly when he got out of the pocket. I talked about Russell Wilson. He's deadly when he gets outside the pocket, but these guys are only toting it 7 or 8 times. So if you're asking Cam Newton to carry the ball 15, 16 times a game, I don't think that's the recipe for success, because when you get to week 15, week 16, you want this guy standing upright. And I don't think that will happen if you continue on this path.
The other point you made, Brandon, I think I'm with you in lockstep. And Wilds, what I'll say to you for your beloved Patriots is they have to make Russell Wilson uncomfortable, and that doesn't just mean through the pass rush. It's an unbelievable stat via the folks at PFF. Russell Wilson was 31 of 35 last week. We all know that. Do you know how many of those completions came in tight windows? The answer is 0. Atlanta didn't have there wasn't a single pass Russell Wilson had to complete into a tight window. So this is Stephon Gilmore, this is that vaunted Patriots secondary making Russ make some type of difficult throws. Now, he's the second best player in the league, so I think he can do it. But you're drawing dead, Wilds, if the Patriots defense looks anything like the Falcons defense did last week.
Well, we're not going to. We had 3 interceptions last week, and we have one of the best secondaries in all of football, if not all of sports. I don't know if you want to count rugby or Australian rules football as well, but if you want to run those numbers, Dusty, I'm sure the Patriots would come out on top. And I'll break the tie on this Cam Newton, should he run, should he not run. I call it the kickboxer game. How about you do both? You beat me with your arms and your legs. That'll work. Guess how many? He threw 19 passes last week. Matt Ryan threw 54 against the Seattle defense and ate them up. So I think Cam opens it up a little bit with Josh McDaniels and starts throwing the ball around, give Hall of Famer Julian Edelman a few more targets. And as far as rushing, I agree with you, Brandon. I think 15's too much. I think he goes for about 50 yards, which gets him over Randall Cunningham. He moves into second place behind Vic. He would need about 1,200 yards rushing in the game to overtake Vic. I don't...